Welcome to Kickin Monday.
Good day, mate.
On Tuesday, right? Because we had so many victory stories, which you guys seen yesterday. It was such goodness for our souls to hear your stories. Happy. So I'm gonna link that video right here, ding ding, and it'll be down in the, if you missed our victory story video, it'll be down in the description box. You can just click on that link, and then as well at the end of the video. It is all over the place. You have no excuses to miss it because it's good stuff.
Let's do this.
So we went to Facebook because we realized it's been 2.5 months since we posted a Kickin Monday video. And some of you hopefully survived your situations that you were asking questions about, but we realized that some of them might not be relevant anymore. So we went to Facebook, and if you're not on Facebook, go find Debtisdum. We are on all social media areas of
We are
life.
on all platforms.
We are diversified.
We have spread our stew out.
So this one is from Facebook. I just posted and said, hey, we're filming a Kickin Monday episode today and we need a few of your budget questions. So I said I'd pull as many as
Without further ado,
we can from our feed. And so here are some of your questions that you guys asked on Facebook that we're going to answer right now. Okay, right now. So, hi, Melanie writes, after doing a pantry challenge, would you recommend stockpiling again or keep the pantry rather empty and just buy what you need for the month? If you recommend stockpiling, would you dedicate a certain amount of the food budget each month, for example, 10%? Good question.
That is a good question.
I like a clean pantry because that is one of my really difficult areas. This summer I went through our house and I purged and I shared some videos of like every nook and cranny. Like my whole kitchen was redesigned in the cupboards. Like plates are in different places, silverware, everything. And I like it clean. And I like to only stock things that we need. So, because it helps on our budget.
I think maybe a little bit. I mean, you know, a couple cans of soup or something in case you're sick, you don't want to cook or, you know.
Or like household items, we do stockpile those. We shop Costco a lot, so that comes with bulk.
For years we used to do that. We would buy all this extra stuff, all these canned foods of what, you know, we go to Costco and buy the 36 canned boxes of stuff, and it would just sit. You know, we'd use half of it and the other half would sit and it'd expire and we'd have to throw it out, and we just thought, So our new cooking methods are just kind of buy what we need. Yeah,
that's how we do it. But I also would like to, and it's on my radar, to start saving for a big catastrophe. A lot of people are into that 72-hour kit and preparing for a disaster. And that's where I would like to take a little bit every month and start building that supply out.
And the thought to that is, my thought would be like every year, like say Thanksgiving, you would go through that canned food you're saving in your emergency kit and you would just cycle it. Like at the end of the year, like Thanksgiving's coming up, you would just donate it to like the food bank and buy new in there and just do that every year on a cycle. That way it's always fresh.
I heard going through it, because I want to put backpacks together for each member of our family just in case, so we have enough for 72 hours to hold us, to tie us over, but without food and water and electricity and all of those household things. But people said every when the clocks change, but in some countries your clocks don't change, so I guess unless you're in America.
So pick a holiday or pick a...
Thanksgiving is good.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is a good one.
Okay, so Rhonda, when you get off track, whether laziness or some other situation, life, do you absolutely start back at step 1 or do you try to limp along catching up in your last step level? This is funny because we've been there. That's why I'm laughing.
I said, how far back are you talking when you get
off track?
Laziness or off track? I mean, are we talking like you just altogether threw the budget out the window for 6 months and you're like, I should probably do that again? I think there's degrees
of laziness. Of off track is different to everybody.
I mean, if it's like one paycheck and you got
We're not laughing at you, sister.
Because we've been there.
It's just the situation. Yeah.
You know, is it one paycheck that you guys got off balance and you just need to get back on? Or is it the summer or is it the year? I mean,
I would say get back when we do this, because we have fallen off. So many times I can't even count.
Yeah.
Over the last 6 years.
You go back far enough to be solid.
You go back to step 1. That's your
unless
role.
you have $1,000 or unless you have a little bit of debt. You know, it's just, you just go back to where you get good traction again.
Do you absolutely start back at step 1 or do you try to limp along catching up in your last step level? You start at step 1. Because you know what? The bottom is going to fall out and you're going to need your emergency fund. Just guaranteed it's going to happen. So if you have that in place, then you can handle the next baby steps without hopefully getting off track as easily. Anyway, thanks for the comment, sister. Okay, Christina Marie Morales. We just answered one of your questions on our last video.
Oh boy.
Okay, this is an embarrassing post, but I trust you guys and your opinions. Oh. We have been creating a budget for quite a while. I watch your videos every time you post one. We bought the FPU home kit and have watched most of it. We work odd hours, so it has been hard sitting down together and watching it. We have built our emergency fund, paid off our car, and paid off 2 credit cards, which was the victory we just read in the last video. Every month I make the budget, and then instead of paying off debt with the extra, we waste it. Last month I printed the bank statement and highlighted all the things we spent money on besides bills, and we were over budget by $1,245. That's a good idea to print your bank statement and highlight it. Like, that's a mirror. That is holding you accountable. That is so much wasted money. I was so upset and disappointed. It scares me to do the zero-based budget because, number one, I worry, what if we pay off something with that and then we need the money? We have about a $2,500 emergency fund, so I know it's an irrational fear. And number two, if we're completely honest, it is much more fun to go out to dinner with friends or go shopping than to pay off debt. It's almost like an out-of-body experience, laugh out loud, that I don't even realize what we are doing until it's done. Isn't that the truth? I'm sure it sounds crazy. For example, we went to Target this week for some medicine for my husband who has a cold, and then we're walking out of the store with $46 worth of stuff going, what the heck? Target knows that you're going to do that. That's They have a way of doing that. You could always take it back. I've done that a lot, right, honey? And number three, my husband is not as on board as I need him to be. He always says we work hard. Why can't we have nice things? I feel like the bad guy when I have to tell him no, or like I'm treating him like a child. I don't know how to get him to see how out of hand this has gotten. My first student loan payment is next month, and it's $432 a month. And I'm terrified of having that bill for the next 25 years. So it's time to get serious about this. I know it is. I just don't know where to start to get back on track.
Well, you put that $432 on your budget.
You start, sister.
Because when you're paying.
Wait. Because it's an a woman emotional thing. You have to start by just forgiving yourself of the stupid you did last month, so that you're not carrying it into the next month. Okay? Because unless you do that, you're going to continue to do stupid, and it's month after month after month of this. So you, in your insides, have got to forgive yourself and put going out with friends in your budget maybe once a month or twice a month, depending on how much you spend. And that way it gives you something to look forward to and you're not feeling deprived, okay? So now you can go ahead. Speak. I spoke my piece. You go for it.
I was going to say, if you just put that $432 in your budget, it doesn't leave anything else to go spend because you have to make that payment. You know, your $65 or whatever you spend, $46 at Target, you can't spend things like that.
Or maybe don't go to Target.
And if you have a sick envelope, you just take $5 out or $8 out, just enough to go buy your meds, and that's all you buy because that's all the cash you have.
Send your husband to go get them.
Yeah.
There's creative ways. And if you need, like, this is a long road. It's not something that's going to get done. It's crock pot, okay? You're in. Not a microwave business. So go back, and your victory you shared with us a couple months ago, read that feed because there are stories on there that will inspire you. You guys could print off the comments. Seriously, I am saving these and I'm putting them on the side of my fridge for days when I feel defeated and hopeless, because reading these empowers you. If there's power in our community, you guys, and you can do this.
That's there.
And your husband, he can do it too. Right, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a good question. Kim Bailey. I love you, Kim. You have been with us for so long. Go ahead. I'll let you read hers.
No, I'm good. How do you stay motivated 2 years into baby step 2? I'm starting to feel like our family has no fun. Everyone around us is going places and doing things and making memories, and it feels like we have to say no to ourselves and no to our 4 kids. I know there's a light at the end, but we still can't see it yet. Words of wisdom. We have another 2 years to go. The good thing is you're halfway there. Hot diggity.
I think that from your words, it sounds like a contentment issue, that there's something in your heart that you're struggling with that isn't found in stuff. It really isn't the memories you're missing out on your kids. It's in your heart and it's your contentment. Because if you were content with saying no and believe the power in those words, you would be content and happy exactly where you're at.
Look at it this way. Now would be time. You're halfway through. You're like, man, I'm starting to burn out. This is boring. Blah, blah, blah. Now would be the perfect time to like start over. Pretend you're starting back at day one, at baby step 2, and you just need to be like, man, let's see how intense we can make this. Let's see how much we can cut out of our budget. Let's maybe sit down and do a really good tight budget again and get right back on track and get real motivated again. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you're 2 years, you're halfway there. And if you get real serious about it and you want out of debt bad enough and you see people taking trips and doing things, you could be like, man, the faster we bust this out, the faster we can be doing that stuff.
Let it be your fire.
Let it be
but
yeah.
It's also not just, like, he does really good with fast. And he did, when we were getting out of debt, he put it all into time frames for me. And that drove me. It was really good and beneficial. But it's also, dude, you're making changes for your entire life. You're going to have to find some happiness in this. And you'll be surprised in where the happiness comes from.
We're talking 4 years. You're 2 years done. So you're only talking 2 more years. And then you're talking the rest of your life, you don't have to worry about this ever again. But
you'll take it with you because the lessons you're learning today will make your life happy. And I don't know how else to tell you, but it's true. It's true. So hang in there, sister. You just work on your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so Penny writes, I love y'all and I enjoy watching you and your family. So here's my help needed. I want to be completed with all debts in 10 years. That's including my mortgage. Right now my baby is a senior and we have no credit card debt. We have only a used car payment totaling $20,000 in our mortgage. I've paid off all snowballing debt. Unfortunately, I have $200 in my emergency fund. My husband is all for us being out of debt, but I can't get him to commit to it. There's a common thread in this. I had to use emergency fund for a new dryer. How do I get him on board without causing me a major headache? He believes the working class will always be in debt.
And that is the problem. That sentence right there, that will always be in debt. That right there should be that blowtorch under your butt to just get things turned around and be done with it.
Regardless of what the economy and the White House is doing, it doesn't dictate what you have to do in your own life. Sorry, I know this is your husband saying this, but it gets us
fired up. Everyone's going to be that way. No, you don't have to be that way.
Because the government is doing stupid stuff doesn't mean you have to.
I would think you guys, you're off to a great start. You've got a little bit of car payments you got to get rid of, your emergency fund you need to get back up, garage sale or something to get the emergency fund back up, but you need to knock out the car payments, and then I guess everything after that would be towards your house. But have you taken Dave Ramsey?
Yeah, have you guys taken FPU together?
Because it sounds like you got a good plan, but there's other things in there that you should need to be worried about and setting money aside in before you hit your mortgage.
And the $100 it costs for FPU to go through that class, it is the cheapest marriage counseling, therapy session, financial planning you will ever invest in yourselves. It is so worth it, you guys.
And that's a good place for a lot of guys to get the understanding of what they need, and it helps them get on board. Not everyone's going to get on board, but it's a great place to...
Dave has a way of speaking to the men and speaking to the women, and it just unites you. And it's a neutral third party, so all the daggers and everything go down, and I would recommend that. Also, there is no magic potion for getting your husband on board. Unfortunately, we get asked this question all the time, and we can't make your spouse, or you can't make your spouse get on board. I have seen the biggest amount of success in people that watch our videos. They just start doing it. The women or the men that just jump in and are like, I don't care what you're doing over here. I'm going to budget every single month, and here's our blow money and our cash and our envelopes, and months of doing that, and the spouse usually catches on. So
the spouse looks at it and goes, wow, this is working.
Mm-hmm. Because
I still have my lunch money, and I still have my go hang out with my buddies money, and you've been saving all this money on the side, and wow, that's working. Yeah, let's do this. This is awesome. Let's do this.
Yeah, they start to get on board. So maybe try it. Definitely try it. You have to try it. You can't afford not to try it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Marty and Sarah Garcia. We have been debt-free for 1.5 years now. I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mom. Pray for us homeschooling moms this first year.
Amen to that. Boy, I come home and it's like the kids are stapled to the wall, and
they are not.
One's running around with a steak knife. And it's
I have the duct tape, but I have not utilized it yet.
I come home and it's like hair's frazzled and she's just like,
don't ask. Oh, okay. I'm a stay-at-home homeschool mom. My husband works full-time. Our income is barely above the limit for government help. We don't want that anyway. And each month we barely have enough for necessary things. We never have any blow money or out to eat money, just the bare necessities. Here's the question. Although we are debt-free, we have been unable to put anything in savings. What can we do to increase our cash flow? We've downsized and sold everything to a small 2-bedroom apartment with 5 people. You guys are amazing.
you're making it till it's awesome. Your cash flow
That is
and everything.
making homeschooling a priority.
So you got to
I'm
look
proud
at
of
that as a plus. You guys are like on it. You're
Yeah.
killing it right there.
Because moms who homeschool, they can't just go out
well, you
and
guys
get
could be in a massive amount of credit card debt to help yourselves through, and I mean, you're.
It's just an income problem.
It's awesome.
That's
It's
all
an
you've
income
got
problem.
is an income problem. So what can we do?
Husband works full time. I don't know what he does, but is there maybe a chance to move up in the company? Is there any overtime that he can
Can
get?
have you get some training and then go up to the next level? Maybe move around to a different department.
There's always a second job, but I don't know if that's feasible because if you're a stay-at-home mom, I know
It's
what our stay-at-home
hard.
mom is like, and when I, work overtime, which I'm going through right now, she's just like pulling her hair out because I'm not at home.
We're blessed, though. I'm trying to remember that and how much further it's getting us ahead in baby steps. So, but it's a juggle to be. YouTube is my passion, you guys. I love this stuff, and I want to go full force with it, and I have to really tone it down and collect my thoughts because it's tough being a homeschool mom. You're very limited. I need your advice, guys. Anyone who's watching this video that has suggestions for this mama, put it down below. I am able to do YouTube and I'm starting a blog and I have, I'm homeschooling too. So, there are ways to do it. Find your passion, sister. Are you involved with the church? Talk to other women around you. Just really think about the things that the gifts that you have. And it's not just to homeschool your children. That is a huge gift, but God gave you other things as well. So think about those things. And then run after them. Chase them. Okay, Amy, we are such failures at the envelope system. By the time we pay everything and get everything we need, there's nothing left to envelope. Nothing left to envelope. I like that term. We did manage to pay one thing off this past week, saving us about $50 a paycheck, but we never have anything left. It's so discouraging. What are we doing wrong?
Well, if your cash flow and everything, if you're paying everything off and you're not going into debt, you're doing okay right now. It just means that it's just like the last comment, you have an income problem. I mean, when we first started this, there was no envelope system for us. We didn't start envelopes till like 2 or 3 years into it because
We didn't have the money.
our outgo and income were the same amount.
I mean, we were paying cash for things, but it was like groceries and gas. And that was it.
Say we had $1,000 coming in from my paycheck, we had $1,000 going out to pay all of our bills and groceries. There was no money left to put in the envelope system.
No.
That's when we got crazy nuts and sold everything, and we got crazy nuts and had garage sales, and
Yeah. You're not doing anything wrong. It sounds like you have an income problem too, possibly, you guys. Is there a way?
give it time. Like
To
you said,
get
you paid
your-
something off and you got $50 more
Yeah.
a paycheck now. I mean, that's $100 a month, right? So right there can, a little bit of envelopes right there.
Something. And if it's driving you crazy, go get another job. Go do, between the two
I know it's
of you
easy
guys,
for us to say.
It is.
But when we were in that position, that's what we did. I was working at GI Joe's.
Work is a beautiful
After
thing.
work, I'd get off work at 5, and at 6 o'clock, from 6 o'clock to like 11 o'clock at night, I went and worked at GI Joe's running the cash register. So
It is not
that's back when GI
harmful.
Joe's was around.
It's not harmful to have a job, you guys.
It was-
college kids. It's a beautiful thing for your
Yeah.
college kids to work through
Granted,
college.
there wasn't a lot of family time, and that was the disappointing side of it. But it got us through what we needed to get through at that time.
It's only temporary.
It's only temporary.
It's only temporary. Okay, Amanda, best way to stay in budget with food as the cost keeps rising. This last grocery trip, I was pretty proud of myself. I went on a hunch, on just like a gut feeling to Cash and Carry because I was looking for cheaper almond flour. Cash and Carry is a store in our area in the Northwest that supplies a lot of restaurants and food
Vendors
and things like that. I saved a ton of money and did like 70% of my grocery shopping at the store. I was impressed because I come home and I batch cook for once a month. I cook for the entire month.
We spend 3 days now, 1 day shopping and 2 days cooking, and it cooks the entire month's worth of foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Onceamonthmeals.com. But I do love it because we cook everything up so nothing goes bad. Meat is all fresh. So maybe get creative and try other bulk stores to shop at in your area. Jennifer, I was let go of my job and on unemployment, $1,900 a month. I'm considering going to cosmetology school that costs $20,000. I have $3,000 credit card debt, and the only other thing is $40,000 left on our house, which is basically just principal. I would need to take out a loan. What are your thoughts? Cash flow it. Don't take out a loan.
No, cash it.
You've got a lot of debt already. Well, your mortgage. I mean, that's not.
That's a low mortgage though.
Maybe pay off your credit card and cash flow school. Mm-hmm. So I know cosmetology school is demanding, but you could still have jobs around the cosmetology if that's something that you want to go for. Kathleen, hello from Canada. We have recently drawn up a manageable budget and finally understand how important it is to tell all of our money where to go. We started with $10,000 of credit card debt in August, like
a couple months ago, August?
Like a couple months ago. But this is, like a couple months ago, 10,000, and we've paid off 2 cards. I did a happy dance when we did it. Laugh out loud, you betcha. And we will have the other 7,000 paid off by June.
Nice.
We have 2 young boys, 8 and 5. And we want to start them off with good financial smarts. Did you find it difficult to teach your girls about finances when you yourselves were struggling to figure it out? How did you do it? And looking back, would you have done anything differently? Best thing ever.
We just let the kids know, like when we're buying stuff, how much things cost so they're aware of it.
Yeah.
Like it takes X amount of dollars to feed the family for the month. It takes X amount of dollars for us. This is back when we were going back and forth to school for mom to drive you guys back and forth in gas money. This is how much money it takes to get you to school.
Took them to the grocery store so they could see how much things really cost.
You know, this is how much it costs to pay the power bill in the house. This is why mom and dad are always on you to shut lights off in rooms and you're not using anymore, because it costs $100 and some a month.
And I tell you, the side benefit factor of that, it was we let our drive, our desire for their lives to be so much better so they would never have to go through the financial hell that we experienced early on in our marriage. That was our drive to teach them everything, the right ways of handling money. And there was freedom in that, and it became really fun to see them get it and to understand and to start. We set money even on our poorest time. We set money aside in our budget, a couple bucks, to be able to pay them. I think it was cheap. It was like 5 cents, 10 cents a chore.
Yeah.
And we watched them work hard and save up their money, and then we saved and saved and saved with them, and then took them shopping. And even if it was a dollar store, they got that satisfaction. So definitely recommend putting your children on the same exact, it was FPU for their little brains.
Just include them on all that stuff too. We included them in the budget for a while and just let them know, hey, this is how much things cost. Awesome. So they got an idea.
Years later, the repercussions and the benefit of that is huge.
Now they walk around, they're like, that's not in the budget.
I love it. There's nothing I would do differently. So that's it, you guys. Thank you on Facebook for helping us out with questions this week. Leave your new questions or comments about anything budget related down below, and we'll be sure to get back to you next week. Not 2 months, but actually next week. And then we'll go from there.
Signing out.
And don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Later.
Sometimes the dream life you envisioned is a lot different than your current real life dream. And honestly, my life right now is better than what I ever planned, because we are taking the bull by the horns and doing our part and making a great legacy for our kids. Thanks again for all you do. Love your channel.